I want to oil you up. What the fuck does that mean?
There's just a lot about the UFC I don't like right now. So I'm going to give you three main things that I don't like, starting with matchmaking. I'm not a fan of the UFC's matchmaking. I'm going to give you guys numerous examples. I mean, we've got Jose Aldo has been announced to fight Amian Zahabi. Like what? Like why is Jose Aldo a legend? I'm gonna do a whole separate video on this. Why is Jose Aldo a legend forced to fight a guy that just he's known for looking like Ariel Helwani? That's what he's most known for. I know he's ranked apparently somehow, but why does Jose Aldo have to fight these guys? Why can't he fight a Corey Sandhagen? Why can't he fight a Davison Figueiredo? Instead, those guys got to face each other. Like, why can't one of those guys face Zahabi and then Aldo face Sandhagen? The matchmaking. On top of that, you got Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili being made. What the fuck? Like who Dana's over here like going on press conferences acting like, "Oh, the fans want this. This is what you guys want," with his little retarded smirk.
They want to fight each other. I think people want to see it.
No one wants that. Nobody really wants Merab versus O'Malley. Yeah, if O'Malley were to beat maybe a Peter Yan, if he were to beat like whoever, maybe somebody else, then you could make an excuse to make that fight. But and it's not just fights like that. Like some of the matchmaking to me, like Stipe Miocic getting a fucking again. I know this was last year. Stipe Miocic getting a title shot. They just pick and choose. Oh, Khalil Roundtree, we're gonna give him a title shot too. They just pick and choose, bro. It's just when it comes to the matchmaking, they just pick and choose whatever they want, whatever's convenient for them, whatever is the it looks best on paper. It's just yeah, I'm sick of it. It's not even just fights like that. Like why Duplessis Strickland? No one asked for that. Adesanya Amavov. This is another really great example, in my opinion, of matchmaking where it's like Adesanya. Why is he getting a Nasruddin Amavov fight? Because when you think about it, that's another top guy coming off of wins. He realistically, he's coming. What was he like? Going into the Mavov fight, what was he, 3-1 or 2? He was coming off of a couple of losses at that point. So they said, yeah, let's give him Nasruddin Mavov. He was 3-1 in his last four because he lost to DDP, Strickland, and Alex Pereira. And so their bright idea was, well, we gotta, he's one of our top stars. We gotta give him a Mavov. Meanwhile, fucking Cannonier has to fight. Well, I know he already fought a Mavov, but still, like Cannonier has to fight Rodriguez. Then after this, even though he just beat Rodriguez, he's probably gonna have to fight like Anthony Hernandez and shit. Like he's the only one in that division that gets this special treatment. They're probably gonna make Strickland fight fucking like who knows? They'll probably make him fight Anthony Hernandez next. So some of the matchmaking I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. Some of the matchmaking is absolutely ridiculous. Like Cejudo's song, I'm okay with, but like you really couldn't do Cejudo versus Dominic Cruz. Even though I'm not one of those people. I'm not gonna switch my opinion because initially I did shit on that, but still, it's like do we need that? Almabaya versus Manel Cap. Like this is actually a perfect example. If you guys don't know, I believe the main event of UFC Mexico. Yeah, here it is right here. Moreno versus Urseg. Why the fuck is Steve Ursay coming off of two losses, one against the champion, which he was pretty much gifted. I like Steve Ursay, but he was gifted a title shot. And then his second loss is coming off of getting knocked out by Kai Kara France. Meanwhile, Brandon Moreno, a top guy, always around the title, coming off of his best career performance, he's has to fight Steve Ursay. Like I would have rather have them done Manel Cap versus Moreno, Asu Amabayev, who nobody gives a fuck about him, but I would have rather done him versus Moreno. At least he's coming off of wins. Like what the fuck are they doing? What are they doing, ladies and gentlemen? I just don't get it. Like Murphy versus Emmett is fine. I'm okay with that. It's in the Apex, which is why are we still doing Apex fight nights? JDM Bilal, I'm fine with. Volk Lopez, I'm fine with. Like, but come on, bro. Vittori Delizzi, who cares? Like, Pereira Ankalaev, like, wow, it took them fucking how long to do Pereira Ankalaev? And I'm not even an Ankalaev fan, but yeah, the matchmaking is atrocious and it's so favorable to the stars. Like knowing them, they'll probably just do Izzy versus Strickland next, giving Izzy another top name, another one. Even though he's 4-1, he's been submitted, he's been knocked out, he's been fucking TKO'd, he's been 50-45. Like he's literally lost in every way possible in his last, well, 4 out of his last 5 fights. And so they're still gonna probably give him like a Strickland or a Whitaker, knowing them. Who knows, bro? So the matchmaking is the first biggest problem in the UFC, in my opinion. The second biggest problem, in my opinion, they don't promote anything. The UFC absolutely refuses to promote anything. This is something that is not really like a super crazy take. I think a lot of people would probably agree with me. Why don't they promote anything? Why? Can somebody tell me why the UFC constantly decides like, yeah, you know what? We're about to do Pereira versus fucking Ankalaev, one of the most hardcore. That's like a it's not like the casuals don't care, but the hardcores are really anticipating that fight. It's like a 50-50 who's going to win. They're not promoting it. I know both guys don't speak English, guys, but still, that's just one example. There's other fights that I can think of. Look at Israel Adesanya DDP. I know that was last year, but Israel Adesanya DDP is a fight. Super bad blood, super heated. That could have sold good pay-per-view numbers had they had done a face-off, maybe another face-off. Same with Holloway versus Topuria. You know what I mean? But when Makachev versus Topuria eventually happens this year, hopefully it happens this year, the promotion of that is just going to be so poor. What are they going to do? A Zoom face-off and that's it? Oh, they're going to do a Zoom face-off on ESPN hosted by fucking like what's that dork's name? Fucking Brendan Fitzgerald. No, not him. Brett Okamoto, I think his name is. Like nobody cares, bro. The promotion is just so the marketing, they just don't market, they don't promote their fighters, they don't market their fighters. I don't know if they just don't want their fighters to be big names. Like I guess that's kind of what people would say. Is like, well, they don't want Sean O'Malley. Well, he's not a good example. Well, they don't want like fucking I don't know, like they don't want these guys to be big names. But it's just like, bro, if they actually did face-offs and really good video packages, imagine if for Pereira's next fight, imagine for Pereira Ankalaev, which is literally next week, which you wouldn't know if you were a non-hardcore fan. Imagine if they did a press conference in Brazil and then maybe one in Russia. Like, why are they not doing stuff like this? Pereira Adesanya, you could have did one in Nigeria or wherever Adesanya claims he's from, New Zealand, Nigeria, China, wherever. Fucking LGBT. And then you could have done like a press conference in Brazil for Pereira. Like they don't do cool things anymore. They just don't do cool things anymore. They don't. They don't do cool stuff like that. They do no promotion. They like Aldo versus McGregor, it's like they forget why that sold so well. It's because they also promoted it very well. They had Conor McGregor in fucking Brazil with his feet up at the table talking about how he's gonna fucking kill anyone who's not fit to work. And they had, then they had Aldo go to Ireland, and the fans were going crazy and they were shitting on Jose Aldo and like then bro, it's just they just don't promote anything. And you guys, I don't know, you guys there's no way. Out of all the points in this video, this is the one that you can't argue with, in my opinion. Like they just don't promote nearly as well as they could. So that's my second point. My third and final point, a bit of a funny one here. I think Dana White is just too emotional. I think he's just too emotional. I feel like Dana White just goes off of emotion way too fucking much, man. Like with Arman Sarukian, for example, and that's another example. Like, why is Arman Sarukian not getting a title rematch? Why? Because, anyways, that's a whole that goes back into the matchmaking, right? But Arman Sarukian, he injures himself the day before the fight, whatever, right? Whether it's his fault or not, whether he's an idiot, fine. But he injured himself. It happens. People get injured in fights, Dana. If it was John Jones, you wouldn't nearly be as mad, right? But Arman Sarukian got injured. And next thing you know, he's like, "Yeah, the kid's not getting a rematch. Yeah, Arman Sarukian's not getting a rematch. Yeah, Arman, he's gonna fight his way back. He's gonna fight his way back. He's beaten Charles Oliveira. He smoked Beneil Dariush in a round. Like, what more does he have to do to get his way to a title shot? Look how quickly Makachev got a title. Dude, if Makachev would have pulled out, If it was the other way around, if Arman was champion and Makhachev would have pulled out, they just would have given him a rematch by now. That's just the truth. Look at Hamza. Remember, they were supposed to do Hamza versus Robert Whitaker, and Hamza got injured. So then they did what's that guy's name? They did Ikram Aliskerov versus Whitaker. He knocks out Iskarov, and then he still has to face Hamza again. They just rebooked it. Like it's so emotionally charged, Just because you're mad at Arman Sarukian, you're just not gonna give him another title shot. He's just gonna have to fight Justin Gaethje coming off of a win, or fucking Paddy Pimblett or something. It's just crazy. Like I don't know if that's just crazy to anybody else. Even recently, like a recent example would be Song Yudong and Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo recently got eye poked by Song Yudong. Wasn't his fault at all, even though some of the fans might make it seem like it's his fault. He was acting, even though he had literally had a corneal abrasion. But he gets eye poked by Song Yudong, right? And Dana White's over here like, you guys want to see the rematch? I don't want to see the freaking rematch. We're not rebooking the fight. We're not doing a rematch. No, no, no. He's just like over here like getting all red and stuff.
Rematch, is that kind of what you're thinking, that they should run that one back? Or?
Not at all.
Not at all? Okay.
Not even a little bit.
Why is that?
I just don't want to see it again.
And that's not, I mean, that's not even taking into account the John Jones. Bro, how are you the promoter of the UFC where you promote one guy? He's calmed down on it since. There was a point where he was literally going on ESPN. He was going on interviews. He was going on IG Lives. He would go on Theo Vaughn's show and all Shannon Sharp's show. And all he would promote is John Jones. I'm like, bro, you have like, how many champions does the UFC have? Like what, flyweight, featherweight? Yeah, they have like 10 something champions. They have like multiple champions. And they only promote one champion who's A woman beater, B, a steroid cheat, A, B, C. He's A woman beater. He's B, a steroid cheat. He's C, gay. And they decide that's the guy? You would think Dana would be promoting the shit out of Alex Pereira right now, who, by the way, is fighting in 2 weeks, and they're not marketing it at all. That's literally, bro. All my points are pretty. I'm yelling. Sorry, guys, but all my points are connected here. Like they're just. Oh my god. I honestly, I made this video because I saw Aldo had to fight Amy and Zahabi, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is the UFC doing? And then it made me think broader. Like, okay, there's a lot I don't like about the UFC right now, so I just decided to go on this rant. But yeah, just ending it like Dana White is. It's too. He's too emotional, and I kind of think the UFC would be better once he retires. I used to think, no, Dana, he's real. He's not real though. He's just not. He's MAGA. That doesn't mean he's real because he picks his favorites, which it's real, right? Like obviously he's gonna have his favorite fighters, but it gets to the point where Israel Adesanya, he might win his next fight and get a title shot. Like that's how bad it is. Sean O'Malley's about to get a title shot. Or he is gonna get a title shot, even though he has one title defense. Instead of doing O'Malley versus Peter Yan, which the fans have been begging for, they've been begging for him versus Sandhagen, him versus Peter Yan. Instead of like, Sandhagen should fight Davison Figueiredo, and then Peter Yan should fight Umar Nurmagomedov probably. It's like, what are we? And then what? If Umar wins, then what? He gets a title. They UFC picks their favorites. The matchmaking is shit. They don't promote anything. They just don't. Like if you were a non-hardcore, you would not know that the biggest star in the UFC, Alex Pereira, is literally fighting next weekend. Literally, the biggest star in the UFC has one of his biggest title defenses of his whole career, one of his biggest fights ever, and you would not know it unless you follow the UFC like I do and like a lot of the fans do. And then obviously, finally, he's just an emotional clown. There's so many examples, so many, so many, so many examples. So that's about it. Those are just 3 points I wanted to bring you on why I think the UFC is just making some terrible decisions this year all around, whether it's the matchmaking, whether it's not promoting, and whether it's just Dana himself just being a wimp. Make sure you guys like and sub. And yeah, see you guys next time. Peace. Fuck Dana White. Fuck him. Yo, we need. I don't like Hunter Campbell. Who should take over? Forrest Griffin? Oh, hell no. Fuck it. Hell no. All right. See you guys. Peace.